It is yours truly once again. All right, so with this soft guy era, um, yeah, I don't think it's for every guy. I mean, the soft guy era is not for every guy. For shizzle shizzle. Yeah, no drizzle drizzle for shizzle shizzle. So let's go in. Um, Now I know that there's been this idea that this was all a joke, but the gals didn't take it as a joke. And I listened to them. I listened to some of the things they said. Well, some say that, well, you want me to pay all this stuff for you? You're a weak man, or you a little bit you got the rainbow in you, right? So there's that. And all I'm gonna say is that, I've seen guys try to give their critique on it as far as they'll make it seem like, yo, well, we just asking for women to reciprocate. When in my personal opinion is that the soft guy era ain't got nothing to do with reciprocation. I'm gonna tell you why. Because really, with femininity, a man should not have to ask a woman to reciprocate. She's biologically made to reciprocate, right? So when you have to ask her to reciprocate out the gate, yeah, that should tell you your fate with her. Like, you shouldn't even try to have any more extra time with her. See, the soft guy era is a reactionary phenomenon going on right now. So guys are following the lead of the gals. Shouldn't be that way. Guys have to set the standard. Set the standard. Now, if she don't want to comply, goodbye, per se. You know what I'm saying? Like, shouldn't have to have this sense of drizzle drizzle to react to her sprinkle sprinkle. Okay, you want this and that, and you're not willing to do this and that. Okay, bye, Felicia, for shizzle shizzle. So yeah, hey, if y'all saying for shizzle shizzle, remember where you got it from, right? So I'm just saying, like, really, where I'm coming from with that, the soft guy era doesn't apply to every guy. Is that, yeah, it's not about more or less being reactionary about uh, her lack of wanting to do things per se. Like, yo, if you just ain't trying to do that, if you're not trying to do that, if you're not trying to be a certain way, okay, all right, I'll leave you alone for shizzle shizzle. Okay, like, there's no need to go back and forth with somebody that's not trying to reciprocate, right? So, as a result, like I said, like, there's this other aspect. Cause I'm gonna be all over the place, y'all. So hopefully I don't like throw y'all off a little bit, because there's a lot of different points to this complicated subject matter per se. Uh, so here's the thing, like, the way it used to be per se was, putting two and two together. Like the woman, obviously, she's designed to reciprocate. She's designed to be a helpmeet, as the original autonomy, anatomy of things, not just biblically speaking. Like, this is all proven facts. You can look it up. Um, like, she was designed to be a certain way. So when she's being opposite of that, she's just being unnatural. So don't react in an unnatural way of being dependent on her. Yeah, she's a helpmeet, right? But she's not a depend me. Like, you need her help, but you're not depending on her per se. Like, okay, you're not willing to be there and support me. Okay, I'll keep it moving, deuces, right? But don't depend on her, right? So, like, she's depending on you, right? But you don't do the same thing. Like, depend on her. Like, you have to live a certain way already to where you didn't depend on her, to where she's just a bonus to you. Like, that's where it has to be at from that standpoint. She has to be a bonus to you, a bonus to what you got already going on in your life. No matter how little or small things are going for you, you got something going on. You got things you're striving to be, aspiring to be. She's supposed to be there as motivation, inspiration, and appreciation. You know what I'm saying? If she ain't doing any of that, then okay, it's a wrap. I see that, she too caught up on soft girl era, but she's not really soft. So I get why some gals say that, and I've talked to some people in the past about this, why some gals want to be in the soft girl era. But I'm like, no, she should already be soft. There should be no era to it, because after the era is over with, then what? So even though these guys even call it a prank or a joke right now, hey, don't let the joke be on you. letting this be an error. You should already be setting a standard with girls already. Setting that standard like, hey, I need you to be like this in my life. Like, just on how you live alone, she should want to gravitate to that. You know what I'm saying? If she ain't gravitating to that, then let her stay a loose planet. Let her stay lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Because if she ain't feeling you a certain way already, you don't stand a chance, and don't be going out your way to chase her. None of that. It should be attraction. You didn't say nothing about chasing. It should be attraction, right? So there has to be an attraction there, to where there don't need to be a soft girl era. There don't need to be a soft guy era. Because I say this, going back to what I was just said a few minutes ago. Fellas, like, here's the thing: when you depend on a woman instead of her being an actual helpmeet, basically someone coming in out the gate willing to support you a certain way and always in a reciprocal way, when you depend on her for these things, she'll just use that against you down the road anyway. So there has to be a certain thing about you that knows how to get through the mud, get through all this stuff that life throws at you, just off rip. Because a lot of times you're not going to have people by your bedside, per se. You're not going to have people calling you on the phone. You're not going to have people checking up on you, making sure you're good. You're not going to have people inviting you out to things, wanting you to be around them. You're not going to have a lot of that. Like, for men that are really out there getting it, y'all know what I'm talking about. You don't have a lot of that support like that. And of course, it's something to really lament about at times. I get it, especially if you didn't have an ideal family situation growing up. And you long for that as you get older. Like, that doesn't stop just because you become a grown man. You still want certain family that you never had when you was a boy. And you want that nurturing feeling from a woman, right? So this is beyond, like I said, the soft girl era and this reactionary soft guy era, because that's what it is. It's a reactionary thing right now. Like, you don't follow the gal's lead on none of that stuff. You're supposed to be leading, not her. You know what I mean? As you lead, she proceeds, right behind you, right? Like that's how it is. Like, so it needs to come down to, instead of hashtag drizzle drizzle, take my hashtag, set the standard. You know what I mean? Set the standard. It should already be set. She can't be, if she can't meet those standards that you already set, okay, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? It's a wrap. You just tell her, hey, it's all good. There's nothing else to this. But you don't react like, and that's the thing, because we get this idea of, oh, she needs to be more reciprocal. That's actually not even part of the conversation. That's not even her intention. So don't even make that part of the conversation. You already see that she's not being reciprocal. So what is there to talk about? Because when you're around a real woman versus a typical female, you don't have to have this conversation about reciprocation, because she's going to automatically give that to you because she likes you like that. She's gravitated to you like that. Don't have to be these conversations. We having all these conversations based on the lack of what we have in our own life, right? That's why we have these conversations. That's why we pouring all this stuff out onto social media right now, because a lot of us are lacking this in our life. And I get that, but we shouldn't make this the norm. It's not the norm. This is very abnormal. Soft girl era, that's abnormal. Soft guy era, that's abnormal. Okay. So how you make things normal in your life, fellas, is set the standard. So in that way, if somebody be like, well, you're single? Yeah, I'm single. I got certain standards. And the right type of people, the right type of woman, she knows what type of time you're on, right? And they see that you got your life a certain way. And the gal has to meet that. She has to meet that. So the problem is when gals try to take on that masculine aspect things, with their idea of the soft girl era, which I thought wasn't the soft girl era at first about more or less just wanting to be more soft. Now it's all this entitlement going on with what a man should do, how he needs to have this and that. So it's still going back to, these provider conversations. Like, it goes back to that. Like, a girl that's really soft, she's just humble. She's humble. So she's humble in that she automatically is going to be a certain way with a man that she really is gravitated to. Like, she's automatically going to be that way. Like, and I know this from experience. When a girl really is into a man and she likes him, she's going to be humble. She's going to be supportive right off rip. Like, she's going to be supportive. Like, she's excited about what he got going on. Like, she likes that, oh, wow, this is a different change of scenery here. I like this guy. Like, she just automatically starts being a certain way around him. You know what I'm saying? Whereas when you and so that's the soft girl. That's the real soft girl, the one that's humble. the one that's just happy to finally have a man that treats her delicately, softly, like she reciprocates to a man that initiates this delicacy about her, right? Like there's no entitlement on her part as far as what a man needs to do and what she's not going to do. I'd say like, yeah, don't get around a girl that has these set standards. And I've said this before. With the feminine, it's not about her even having standards. It's about her just being humble. It shouldn't be about a soft girl era. She should already be soft. There shouldn't be an era. Because after the era's over with, what is there going to be? Nothing. She's going to go back to being hard. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, a girl that's really soft, regardless of how hard she was, just want a man around to soften her up. She ain't trying to live a soft lifestyle. She just wants to be softened up. She appreciates a man softening her up so she can be softer with him, right? But it's not soft based on this entitlement of this lavish lifestyle, like getting her nails done, you know what I mean, and having this Birkin bag and all the latest fashions and trends that are out right now. Like, where's the appreciation? Where's the real humility? So I'd say, fellas, don't be like her. Don't be like her with a certain sense of entitlement on your part, you know, just as a reactionary. And I get it. You know, some of y'all say it's a joke, but to a lot of the gals, it ain't a joke. And some guys ain't joking about that either, because some guys do feel entitled. Some guys do feel like the world owes them something, right? You know? And it's like, nah, nobody owe you nothing. What do you initiate so she can reciprocate? What standards have you set that needs to be met, right? Because that's the only way you're going to get a result from the feminine, based on those two things, whatever you initiate or whatever standards you set. You don't do those two things, you're not getting any results. And obviously, there's the third thing as far as her not giving you any results, regardless of what you initiate and regardless of what standards you've set. And that's the one you say goodbye to. But that's the same chicks that are out here talking about the soft girl era to begin with. The ones that don't reciprocate, the ones that don't meet the standards that are set, the ones that don't want no one to set any standards on them. Like, they want to have their own standards. No, you're being masculine, sweetie. You're being masculine, okay? Like, how about be more your feminine by just being humble with the guy that actually has standards that he set that you actually meet, and that he's a real man about it, right? Because you got a lot of guys who got no standards, and these are some of the same guys out here now doing this soft guy era, you know, because whatever standards they didn't set back in the day, and now they just tired of running into all these entitled chicks. So I say this: losers talking to losers, losers talking about losers online right now. That's how I look at it. You know, some guys taking the L, some gals have taken the L. So both of them now want to be soft in some way, in some type of era. You know what I'm saying? Because they've had eras. Get it? But like I said, like, soft guy era isn't for every guy, because, you know, if you got standards set, you ain't got to worry about the stuff. Whether you got a girl that's gonna stick around in your life or not, you know, because it ain't all about the game she play. You know, she just gonna play herself out. Peep game. You know what I'm saying? Peep game on that. Because you live a certain way, you don't want no I gotta say this like I'm from Memphis. No confusion. You don't want no confusion when you got your life set up a certain way, right? And you know, the gal gonna be intimidated by the dude that already got his life set up a certain way, you know, because that's based on the standards that he set for himself, you know what I'm saying, that she has to uphold in order to be around him, like the way he keeps his life together, his home, and the way he goes about doing his thing. Gals have found themselves doing that, and it's like it hasn't gotten you anywhere. So why even add on top of that with this idea of being a soft girl era? Like I said, I thought the soft girl era was just for gals wanting to be soft again, but now they have their own standards. That to me is not soft. That's not soft. Like I said, the feminine is about having humility, not standards. And that's where a lot of these gals get it wrong after they've been down the wrong road for so long. And guys, you're going to end up doing the same thing if you continue to go on with the soft guy era. And I'm not talking to every guy. I'm just saying this ain't for every guy. So to the guys that, you know, the soft guy era ain't for you, just continue to set standards or work on this idea of setting standards, because you feel, yeah, that'll probably be more of my lane, instead of just, you know, rejoicing off the reactionary idea of, oh yeah, drizzle drizzle versus the sprinkle sprinkle. Well, I'm like this. Nah, And that's for shizzle shizzle. But I could definitely say, as far as I'm concerned, it's always been about for shizzle shizzle because I have standards set already. So I used to, back in the day, it used to be about, man, why she ain't stick around. Well, that was actually a good thing because I didn't realize back then, even when I was young, it was like I always had these standards I set. So that's why she couldn't stick around. Whereas, some guys that didn't have standards, gals stayed around and they pretty much used them all the time. Even the guy that set standards, he's going to get used, but not all the time. You know what I mean? So I'd say, fellas, just like I said, for those who haven't set standards, start that today. Start that today. I'm not here to bash nobody. Start that today. And for the guys that continue to set standards, for these girls not to throw that soft girl era on you, continue to do your thing, man. And of course, you're around a girl that's already soft. She's already humble. She ain't coming at you with standards. You know what I'm saying? Because here's where the double standard comes into play with that aspect. She trying to throw this masculine arm at you with setting standards that she can't even meet herself. Thanks a million.